All right, welcome back to the Mike and George show. No George today, but we are joined by my former professor, Sam Hakim. Sam, welcome to the podcast.
What's up, man? It's good to be with you. Appreciate you asking me to be on. It's always good to talk sports with you. It was always fun after class, talk sports. So now we get to do it on a podcast.
Now we get to do it on a podcast. So we're going to be talking about some UFC 320. Happened last Saturday. Alex Pereira got his light heavyweight title back. He beats Magomed Ankalaev in Pereira versus Ankalaev 2. So let's just go ahead and jump right into that one. That's the main event, so that's what everyone wants to hear about. So what did you see differently from Alex in this fight? And we can start off on that. Obviously, it was a quick. I mean, he knocked him out in within 2 minutes, so it was a quick one.
Minute and a half, done, out the door. Where's my money? Give me my title back. Unbelievable. It was a redemption song, and it was a very fast song. It was super badass to see him. I mean, he just went forward. The last fight when Magomed took the belt away from him, Magomed looked like the more active fighter. Alex was walking backwards. That was crazy to see because that was the first time in his UFC career that you see him walking back. I mean, Izzy got, the best of him, but you don't really see him losing like that. And, so to see him walk backwards was weird. So it wasn't surprising to see him come out with a lot of fire. Right. He doesn't give away to a lot of what his game's going to be, but that he's just going to try and punch your face in sort of vibe.
Yeah.
So seeing him march forward immediately caught my attention. I was like, okay, he's feeling it. He's
locked in.
Yeah, exactly. He's a man on a mission. He's fighting with a purpose. And that was nice to see because when you lose the title, I don't know who said this first, but on the commentary, you'll hear him say the mark of a champion is someone who can lose and then come back and win it again. Right?
Very tough. Very difficult.
And it's very tough. You do not see it often. Guys like Volkanovski, these are why these guys are on the Pantheon, right?
Right.
So to see him do that, it felt special. Magomed looked bad. Magomed looked like he didn't know what was coming his way, as if he didn't have time to prepare, or literally won the belt from him last time. So It was so strange to just see him be just pushed back, and then he took that big hit, and then all of a sudden he went down to shoot, even though he claims he had broken ribs. Why are you shooting if you have broken ribs? But I guess you shoot because it seems like that's what you do when you're seeing stars.
Yeah.
So
looked like he caught him too. Yeah, it looked like he caught him. It looked like he caught him on that initial. Yeah, I mean he went right down and immediately shot. So it looked like Alex for sure caught him, and then obviously the elbows. It was lights out after that.
Elbows are so scary. Now that you can do 12-6 elbows.
Now you can do 12-6, right?
It is so scary. It's like you took the UFC from a very, very, a very scary league, a very violent league, to something that feels like blood sport a little bit.
Yeah.
Like the 12-6 elbows feels different,
It's crazy. Yeah, no, 100%. And yeah, that first fight, Alex was like moving backwards, which we never usually saw. I mean, Alex always sets up that jab and that jab. I mean, he's famously knocked guys out without even really hitting them clean. I mean, that Jamal Hill one, he didn't even necessarily hit him that clean, but he was able to kind of close the distance, always marching forward. Same thing with Jiri Prochazka. That was obviously the head kick where he head kicked him into oblivion. And Jiri obviously won, so we'll get to him later. But yeah, Alex, you could tell was a man on a mission from the time the bell rung. I mean, it was like he was a locked in character. Now, I just didn't see it happening to Magomed Ankalaev, who looked legitimately unbeatable. I mean, he has the longest unbeaten streak in the division. Obviously, he had that. I believe it was a draw with Jan Blachowicz a few years back. But I mean, he looked pretty unbeatable. And then in that Alex fight, he really did take it to Alex. I mean, we've never really seen a fighter do what he did to Pereira in the first fight. And it's like, again, it's not to stereotype, but these Dagestan fighters, they just kind of know how to win this kind of way. It's like styles make fights kind of thing. And Alex almost said, like, screw this. Like, I'm just going to go and punch his face in, like you kind of said. I mean, he just took it to another level.
He went back. He went back to his style. He played his game. He went to his game, which is march forward, throw hands. And it's interesting. Like, I've heard this on shows like Ariel Helwani show. They talk about how Magomed gets this big rap for being a good ground game fighter, but because he's Dagestani, but he's not that good at the ground. He is a better striker than he is a ground game.
Yep.
And so it's, when Alex approached him standing, people don't realize is that this is a fair fight, Magomed could throw. And
he saw it in the first fight. He kind of landed some shot. 100%, no doubt.
He showed his talent. He showed his power. So I don't know. There's comments about him having a broken rib. There's comments about a rematch. I think, and I was talking about this with students in my class because talking about communication, right? The UFC, we want to talk about it being a league. It's a merit-based league. It's a what are you doing for me now? It's how can we make the biggest fights, and a lot of that is how you present yourself in between these 4, 6, 8 a year that goes by without you fighting. How do you keep yourself interesting? And it's usually on social. And we saw guys like Merab spice up their social game and take it from non-existent to hilarious, viral. Magomed doesn't have much personality. The rumor is that his manager runs his account, so it's not even genuine connection with his fans. And, I could go into the what is the comment, and is it silly and stupid, and are they attackative? But I think the biggest thing is that if it's not coming from him, then his fans don't feel that connection at the very basis, right? Exactly. So if there's no energy from his fan base to have Magomed Alex 3, they're going to move on, right? Alex is a star. Alex gives the touch to anyone and makes them a star.
He sells the pay-per-view.
We can't waste time. Yeah. We can't waste time with Magomed anymore, just because if the energy's not there, it's a business, man.
I totally agree. I was actually going to go right into that next. So what do you think is next for Alex? Because we've heard rumblings of him moving up. Obviously, Carlos Ulberg is waiting in the wing as a next title threat. I mean, we all kind of just, the previews of the fight is okay, well, once Ankalaev wins, who's next for Ankalaev? He's already beaten Alex twice. Right. The kind of people were signing Alex's obituary before the fight even started. Then he upsets Ankalaev, and now it's okay, well, he's fought Jiri twice. He's beat him twice. He's fought Ankalaev twice now, and he just destroyed him within 2 minutes in this one. So it's do you go a third time with either one of those two guys? Do you go move up for a super fight? I don't know if he's ready for a Tom Aspinall. I think Tom Aspinall will handle Cyril Gane. We don't have to get into that one today. But obviously John Jones is, retired, but there's always that looming, threat of John Jones in there for a super fight. And then maybe Carlos Ulberg. So is there anything left for Alex in this division? Who would he fight next? Obviously Rountree, he already destroyed. Jiri, he's destroyed twice now.
He's done his business there, he's done his job,
which is crazy. He hasn't been here long. He hasn't even been here that long.
He's active. I think that's the beautiful part. I think there's you have to put on a show, you have to be social, but then
gotta be active.
Sports fans don't work in 6-month increments. Sports fans work on a everyday or weekly basis if you're a football fan, right?
Yep.
So the 6-month off is out of sight, out of mind, and that's why I think Alex, he did all three. He was not very personable, but then he showed his personality.
Drama.
He won in very incredible fashion every time, and he would fight 3 times a year. And it's okay, you checked off all the boxes. You're going to be a star. So the next step for him, let's get to the question, right? I think there's 3 options total. You have Alex versus, assuming Tom beats Cyril, which I agree, I think is going to happen.
Right.
Personally, and you do Alex versus Tom for the title. That's option 1. And these are no particular order. Option 2, Alex versus John, super fight, not for a title, in my opinion.
No.
Or you do Ulberg, Alex, and you keep rolling the light heavyweight division. So is there
no Ankalaev in any of those options? No Ankalaev.
Heck no. I think Ankalaev. I mean, listen, obviously Alex is a big A side. Like I said, I'm convinced that I don't need to see Alex versus Magomed again. I think as a fan, right, you want to be convinced that something was a win and something was a loss.
Right.
When you had Merab Dvalishvili won, there was argument that Sugar gets another shot because, he defended the takedowns. He got him good in that last round. There was nothing here that says Magomed should have another fight.
There was nothing fluky about this. No, this was the dominant. Yeah, he dominated him from start to finish. Yeah.
In a minute and a half. And I mean, if you're going to be a light heavyweight champion, if you're going to be a champion, you can't get finished in a minute and a half and then expect to go again. So I think Magomed's got to re-rack. Hey, do Magomed Jiri. Those guys have beef. I would watch that.
I was just going to ask you that. I said, what's next for Ankalaev was my next bullet point here. So would it be Ankalaev and Jiri, who, of course, those guys have beef. We know those guys have beef.
Those guys actually have heat, and I would like to see that. All of a sudden, Magomed becomes interesting because they don't like each other.
Because there's beef there. There's bad blood there. And Jiri, we can kind of just get into Jiri. I'm going to get into the Merab.
Hold on. We got to go back. Hold on. So what I personally would love is I would love for Tom and Alex to fight. Period.
Of course.
I want to see that for the title. John has exited stage. He is retired. I think if you want to come back, I think it's kind of a disrespectful sports play to give, that shot to someone who just wants it when they call it. I think you gotta, and that's not to say John hasn't earned it,
of course,
but there's an activity level, right? And so Alex has been active. If Alex wants to move up to heavyweight, that's the fight. That would be incredible. That would be moneymaker. And that's not to say anything with John Jones won't be a moneymaker. I know that's the huge sell, but I'm a little bit of a newer fan. I came in, 2 John fights or 3 John fights. I got 3 John fights in my UFC career. So I missed it a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
I missed it. And he's a little older, and we need to keep the wheels turning here. Alex is a super active guy. He's a megastar. Tom is a megastar internationally and can be a megastar in America.
And he wants to be active too. It's not his fault the heavyweight division's kind of slacking, right? So
they both want to fight. Let them fight. That's it. I think that would be number 1. Going to Jiri now, I would love to see Jiri Magomed. I think there's bad blood, and then Jiri just being the most Jiri fight of all time.
Unbelievable.
And against someone who I thought was going to win. I thought Khalil was going to win. I thought he had it. I thought
he looked good through 2 rounds. He looked really good.
He looked great. The discipline, the form, just everything. And Jiri is just a force of nature. He doesn't really fight like anyone else in the world.
Very awkward. It's very awkward. Yeah, the way he kind of his head movements. Although he looked a little bit, it looked like bad Jiri through 2 rounds. I was like, man, I know what good Jiri looks like. This one looked like he was trying to. I don't know. It looked like he was trying to find himself. And then that 3rd round was just classic Jiri Prochazka chaos. And it was like, holy cow, this is the fight that Jiri Prochazka needs to make it, because Rountree looked fantastic through 2 rounds. He really did. It looked like he looked almost like he looked better than he did against Jamal Hill. And Jamal Hill, he kind of just did whatever he wanted with Jamal Hill. But through 2 rounds, it was like, this is the game plan that Khalil Rountree is going with. And then obviously it looked like Prochazka had no answers until he kept charging forward. He caught him a little bit. Then Rountree's obviously bloodied up like he was in the Alex fight. And then it's anyone's game, because these guys are light heavyweight. So either one of them can go down any moment.
There's something to be said about guys who bleed easy and how that affects their game plan going forward. Because Khalil is someone who bleeds rather fast, and he gets open rather quick. It reminds me of like Michael Chandler, right?
Yes. Guys
with a lot of scar tissue. Like, these guys get opened up quick and they start bleeding. And I wonder if the blood motivates their opponent to go harder. How could losing blood not affect you? I don't know, but Jiri, after all the punishment he took, was a little bit bruised around his eye.
Yeah.
Right. A little swollen around his eye. That was pretty much it. So, Khalil's landing, but Jiri's just gonna Jiri. I really don't know. He's the biggest puzzle. Yeah. He's the biggest puzzle.
He's such a puzzle. By the way, Yuri's got an unbelievable chin. And that's what people were saying heading into the Alex fights. Remember, he's like, Yuri's taking Glover Teixeira's best shots. He's taking everybody's best shots. And for some reason, he just doesn't go down. And then obviously, Alex finished him in 2 separate fights. But Jiri Prochazka is known for having an unbelievable chin. I mean, heck, he fought Alexander Rakic in UFC 300, and he could have been put out at any moment during that entire fight.
Again, just chaos. Every fight with him is just chaos. Every fight the Rakic fight, chaos. Like Khalil, chaos. Alex, chaos. Like, it's just chaos. And you got to give him credit. Like, if we're talking about an entertainment factor, he's just. I mean, if you gave me Alex Jiri 3, not really deserved, I'd still watch it, because I know he's going to put on a show. It's going to be interesting. And Yuri's just hard to train for. He's hard to practice for. I was watching how Corey Sandhagen was practicing for Merab, and he's bringing in guys that have incredible takedown levels and takedown techniques, and he's going through the sort of round training where it's just it's him versus a fresh guy versus a fresh guy versus a fresh guy. But you can't train for Merab. He's just a one of a kind. And for him, it's working and he's winning. Jiri doesn't have the title right now, but the way he trains, there's no one else. You can't fly someone in, unless you go off the grid. You can't fly someone in and just be like, hey, can you imitate Jiri? It just doesn't work like that. It's a psychology. It's a fearlessness, right? He's got the warrior spirit. He is the man dying out there. And that's a little intimidating. And it also will... It's gonna mess with opponents' heads, right? They're gonna be like, how do I approach this guy that doesn't mind approaching me?
Right, 100%. Yeah, Yuri's a very tough puzzle to figure out, but he's chaotic, which means I think that's why the fight with Ankalaev would be really good. Ankalaev, not really, the personality may not be there, but again, there's real beef with Jiri, and Jiri fights are always hectic, which means people would want to watch that fight against Ankalaev for sure. I totally agree with that. Now, getting into Merab, who I wanted to talk about second, but Merab, we could just do light heavyweight. Now we get into the bantamweights here. Is Merab the greatest bantamweight of all time? I mean, this guy's an absolute machine. I mean, I thought Corey fought pretty well, all things considered. We know Corey's a great wrestler too, so it's not like, if they get to the ground, which of course he's going to get taken down by Merab. I think he attempted close to 50 takedowns in this fight. He attempted a lot of takedowns.
For fun.
Just
apparently
for fun.
He was doing things for fun.
Because he can. His stamina is unlimited. He doesn't ever get tired. So that's why when you mentioned getting a fresh fighter in and out of it, it's almost like you're facing a fresh fighter every round, because Merab does not ever get tired. It's unbelievable.
It's really kind of strange.
Yeah, and Merab's also very active. He's fought now. He wants to fight in December. He's fought in, I believe, June against Sean O'Malley, or May or June. So he's fought over the summer. He's now fought in October. He wants to fight again before the year ends. So he's fighting all the time. This would be
his 4th fight of the year.
Yeah, he's very active. Now, again, not everybody loves Merab's style of play. I mean, he could have finished. I agree with you.
Because he's taken grappling and he's made it funny. He's so good. He's just the master of his craft. He can do whatever he wants, and that's entertaining.
Yeah, my UFC group had that in, and they're not all big Merab fans of the way he fights, but I love Merab, so I'm personally a big fan. I love all of his fights. Now, I get he might not be the headliner pay-per-view, like him next to Alex on a pay-per-view would be great. Like a December fight, and I wanted to ask you this too. So I think we both agree Merab is the best in the world right now at bantamweight, easily a top 5 pound-for-pound fighter on the planet.
I think there's an argument he could be pound for pound, number 1.
100%. I think he's number 3 right now, I believe, behind. I think he's number 3 in the latest rank. I could be wrong.
It's hard to mentally try and put a 135er as like a number 1 in the world when you got guys who could be like 100 pounds heavier than him. I think, but the idea of the pound for pound is like everyone's standardized, right? Yeah. So if you're looking at just like what they can do in the octagon, who wants to face Merab?
Nobody wants to face Merab. That's why I was going to ask. Okay, so what's next for him? He called out. He said Petr Yan looked good in his last fight. I remember he fought Petr Yan already, and he beat him 50-45. It wasn't very close. So he could fight him in December. Would that be like a headlining card or maybe like a co-man? Because remember, he's already dominated Petr Yan. He's already gone through Sugar Sean O'Malley twice. Yep. Umar Nurmagomedov obviously has to fight, I believe, Mario Bautista next. So
that would be fun. I love the idea of Mario being a villain here.
Yes, exactly. So can anyone take down Merab and actually beat him and take his belt? Probably not. Umar had probably the best chance as far as the odds makers. Merab is actually an underdog to Umar Nurmagomedov. He won it.
That'll never happen again. Merab will never be an underdog again.
He will not be an underdog again. Although it was 48-47, so it was kind of a close fight, unanimous decision, but it was a close fight. Umar looked pretty good the first 2 rounds, and then apparently he broke his hand in the first round, so maybe there's something there. Obviously, if Umar beats Mario Bautista, that might be the fight to make. But can anyone, whether it's Yan, whether it's Umar, whether it's Mario Bautista, can anyone A, beat Merab, and then B, what would be the fight that you would make for Merab next?
All right. First of all, is Merab the greatest bantamweight of all time? My theory on sports is that every year the next group of athletes that come in get better.
Yeah.
So you're never regress in sports. The talent only gets better. This is why, like, when people go, is Wayne Gretzky the best of all time? It's like, we could argue based on points. Yes. We could also say if he were to play today, it'd be different.
Yeah, sure.
And so I also think there's something to be said about that in UFC. So it's like, you got guys who are, what's his name? Why can't I think of his name? The other one that everyone thinks is number 1, Dominic Reyes.
Oh, okay.
No, not Dominic Cruz. Dominic Cruz.
Dominic. I thought you were talking about hockey, so I was on Conor McGregor. I was like McDavid. Yeah.
No, well, yes, I got you to the hockey going there, but yes, but like, good point with Conor McDavid. Like, I think he would run laps around Gretzky.
Okay, sure.
I think he's an animal, right? He's one of those. He's a freak.
Yeah.
So, like, if you look at someone like Dominic Cruz, who was, people are comparing Merab to, the talent that Merab is going up against in this theory is better than the talent that Cruz was going up against when he was at his time. So I think Merab is the best bantam we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Next fight.
At this point, it's like, who do you even put him against?
Can anyone take Merab down? Yeah, you could try. You could certainly go for it. You just got to out-stamina him, but you can't do that yet. So you could probably get him down and maybe trick him somehow and like get a little, get like a good hit on him and maybe like sneak a takedown in, but his motor doesn't turn
actually
off,
beat him, though.
Constantly moving.
Yeah, can anyone actually beat him? It's like, how do you beat this guy? He's a machine.
You got to knock him out.
Yeah.
You got to knock him out. Like, there's only one way, I think, and you got to just if you get a clean shot on him, everyone's got a glass, at some point. I think if you got a clean shot, if O'Malley got a clean shot on him, I'd be concerned for that, right? That 5th round of that, of O'Malley won, he like hit him in the ribs with something and he shook him a little bit. He got him nervous. And so the monster can bleed, but the problem is that no one could keep up with the monster for the entirety of the race. And by then it's too late. Exactly. And so I would like to see him versus Mario Bautista, because I think, again, at this point, you get like a fresh face. You get someone who's motivated in a different capacity than maybe these other fighters are. Not as much film on it, maybe a little bit harder to train for. And also, like, we've seen him be tough. He's got cool wins under his belt. He's got flashy wins under his belt. Why not, right? I don't think there's anything wrong in this type of sport where you get a new fresh face, and that's if he wins his next fight, right? If he doesn't win his next fight, then
is it Umar?
Looking at a different
maybe Umar again at that point, because
I think you're right. Yeah, I think you give it to Umar. I also don't mind Yan, because I think Yan is an entertaining fighter, and I think stylistically he is a good grappler, and I think he is hard to take down. So I'm interested in that as well. But again, like, I don't. Unfortunately, if it's Mario Bautista, I could see this headlining, because there's an American energy to it, right? If it's Petr Yan, I think it's a co-main, or whatever they want to call it, right? The side A, side B, he's a co-main. That's what we're saying. Second from the top. Second from the top. Yeah, I mean that's where I'm at with Merab, and I don't think anyone can beat him though anyway.
I don't think anyone can beat him.
It's not a big deal,
right? I totally agree. And if he was to fight Umar, if he was to fight Umar again, I do believe he would be the favorite in that fight. I mean, we watched him kind of at the end of that fight, kind of just take Umar down for fun, kind of like showboating. He was emoting.
In hell that he's ever a dog again, unless some freakazoid comes through the bantamweight and fights 4 times in 2026, and Merab's still the champion, and we're just like, here's this guy. And I don't think it's going to happen. I was going to say, this is total just like fun thought. You give Merab 2 fights in a night.
Oh, I love this idea. Actually, I actually love this idea.
I feel like he would weirdly like the idea too. And you stack it. You give him whoever he wants first for appetizer, and then you give him the main course, whatever he wants, and and it's a headline, and it's in Georgia.
Yes,
and you do it in his home country, and it's Merab's pay-per-view. It's UFC, 324 Merab Dvalishvili in Merab's backyard, and you literally just give him the co-main and the main, and he just stays in the ring. He's like, okay, I'm ready. Just give me the next person, and they like walk him out. They size him up, they bring in Bruce, they do their whole charade, and then they just ding the bell again and we start. And it's like the place just goes nuts, gladiatorial style.
That is the best idea I've ever heard in my life. UFC 224, Merab Dvalishvili versus Merab Dvalishvili. It's just like he's not even facing anyone. It's just him twice in a row. He's going up against 2 different fighters, 5 rounds.
Give him all 5 of the matches on the main card. Make it a four match main card, and let him have all 4, and like let him just chew up some amateur for the first one, just warm up. Second one, give him like someone who's ranked between, and internationally, like 30 to 25, or like some like a lower rank, but like someone who's decent. And then you feed him who he wants for appetizer again and main course. And
main course he gets. How long can Merab go without tiring out? Is essentially the.
I would love to see the strategy. I was like, do you just come out and just own the first guy's life in 15 seconds, just not even break a sweat, make your bonus? Next guy, eat him in 30 seconds. Maybe you have fun with him. You make it last a minute. You let him get like one shot in. Next guy, that'll actually be someone substantial. It'll be a UFC fighter. So we'll let that go. Merab will get his first knockout. That's what'll happen, right? He'll knock him out. First knockout since the Rafion Stotts one, right? That's the one that I think we'll go back to. Yes. And then the last one, he'll just let it go 5 rounds because he's bored.
Because he's exactly. He can still do that because he never loses.
And it'll be 50-44. It'll be ironic. He'll get like an 8-2. A 10-8, I mean, in his last match of the night. Yeah. And Merab gets all the money. That's it.
That's an incredible idea. I almost want to send that to Dana and be like, hey Dana, if you want to just for fun, let Merab just own a pay-per-view all by himself.
Merab's sick enough to do that.
He is sick enough to do that. I mean, he almost feels like by the end of these fights, he's actually like not breaking a sweat at all. The interview, it doesn't even feel like he's tired in most of these. I thought Corey fought pretty well. It didn't really matter. I mean, he got 10-8 in that second round, I think. Merab's just a total machine.
Corey had a great first round, by the way, and I think Merab just kind of let him have it. Like after what I saw after that, I was like, Merab just definitely let Corey have fun that first round. I like made him feel good about himself, and then just decided to beat him 5 rounds anyways, with that second round being a 10-8 round, and that was insane. I feel bad because I like Corey Sandhagen so much. Yeah, I have UFC cards of his. I like Sandhagen. He's in the right place in his life, but at the wrong time.
Wrong era.
Exactly. Yeah. Should have been here 2-3 years ago, and then been up against like Aljo, and maybe he would have had a better chance.
He could have beat 100%. He could have.
He doesn't shot at Aljo. I just think Merab is unstoppable.
Of course, Merab's a different beast. The rest of that card, Josh Emmett got submitted in that main card. Joe Pyfer submitted
crazy submission against Josh Emmett, though. What the hell?
No,
that was insane.
By the way, also on here, Patchy Mix lost a split decision. There was a little bit of like, was he robbed type of thing in that fight? Patchy Mix now 0-2 in the UFC since coming up.
The problem with the robbery commentary is like it's a similar feeling I have to when there's issues with people saying like, oh, I can't believe the kicker missed that field goal. It's like, why didn't you win the game before that, man? Like you put that guy in a bad position.
You're running the risk of a possible bad judge, and it's like you never know. But
if you're so concerned, like try harder to finish this match. That was what Dana would probably be thinking in his head.
Yeah. So looking ahead to this Saturday, we got UFC Rio. We got Charles Oliveira against Mateusz Gamrot. This was initially Rafael Fiziev before Fiziev obviously pulled out. Yeah. So now we got Oliveira versus Mateusz Gamrot. Do we like Charles returning to the octagon this soon after we saw him brutally knocked out by Ilia Topuria? I'm worried for Charles. I'm a huge Charles fan. He's in my top 3, no order. Him, Volkanovski, and Pereira. So I'm really worried for Charles. It's a split pick 'em right now, -110 for both guys. I really was hoping that Charles would take a little bit more time off after that Ilia Topuria knockout. Obviously, he fought Chandler earlier, obviously, as well. So do we like him rushing back to the octagon? Obviously, I know this is UFC Rio. He's a beloved Brazilian, but it feels like a quick turnaround for me.
It is a quick turnaround for me, too. I don't feel good for Charles, especially after the type of damage your brain takes when you get devastated like that. I mean, Ilia Topuria causes permanent damage. That should be a shirt, like it's just what he does for a living.
Yeah. And he's got a great chin. Charles has a great chin. It just doesn't matter.
He's got a great chin, and which is why when he went out ice cold like that, it was jarring. It was jarring, and like it just didn't look pretty. Like it was a very bad looking knockout for him. So no, I don't like him coming back this soon. And I think, not to play off his nickname, but I think Gamrot's a gamer. Like I really do know he is a gamer from his history. Like he goes to decisions, he takes things to the deep end. He's good on the feet and he's good on the ground. And I think he's a very motivated fighter. I think he's been in the mosh pit of the 5 to 10 region for just being kind of circled by sharks. And this is an opportunity to now leap over all those people and put himself into an opportunity for a title shot potentially.
Yeah.
So I think this is a huge career fight for him. Do I like it on short term and not at a full camp? No. But if you accept the fight, that means you're ready. And that's it. So I can't say otherwise. If you don't think you're ready, don't take the fight and ruin your career, right? Or spoil your career, I should say.
Sure.
So I personally would put my money on Gamrot. I think Gamrot is going to take advantage of the situation. I think he's going to be an opportunist. Will this be his hardest challenge to date? Yeah, for sure. I don't like Charles coming back this fast. I think will there be some Rio magic? Yeah, for sure. I do think, and I know Charles is maybe the most dangerous man in that division, even though he's not the champ. He's one of the most dangerous people.
He's very scary. Yes.
He's horribly scary, and he's good everywhere, and he's incredible on the ground. So I still like Charles. And I like his chances. I think the motivation is going to be different for Mateusz, and I think he's going to be the better condition for the two fighters, even on short notice.
Yeah.
I'm like going back to his history, like right now, like he has a unanimous decision. He has a split decision loss to Dan Hooker, unanimous decision, a leg injury, a split decision, another decision, submission to Strut. I mean, like he's a baller. Like he will take this thing as long as it has to go. So I like his odds as the fight goes on even more.
Yeah, I think, and Charles is another guy who thrives off of chaos. We're talking about with Jiri Prochazka. Charles Oliveira will get into what looks like he might be in some trouble, but really that's just Charles Oliveira, and that's how he loves like when you're close to him and they're in the clinch and there's both guys are bloodied up. That's when Charles Oliveira is actually really good. Obviously, when it gets to the ground, we know how good Charles Oliveira is. I hope you're wrong because I love Charles. And I don't want to see Charles lose again.
I don't necessarily want to be right. I'm just, I'm telling you what I feel like.
I'm with you. Yeah, I know. It's tough, but I
never want to see Charles in that condition ever again. By the way, like I don't want to ever see Charles looking at the sky like that.
No, but I'm with you because I think that the short notice thing, and again, there might be some Rio magic here. He's fighting in his backyard. I really hope that's able to kind of power him through here. But I am worried about the quick turnaround. And every Charles fight, another one similar to Jiri Prochazka, every Charles fight ends up being like chaos. I mean, he's fought Michael Chandler twice. Both those fights were crazy. Everyone he's fought has been like a nuts fight. I kind of want to see him against Max Holloway in like a BMF situation because those dudes are just every single one of those fights are worth my money and worth watching. But obviously, if you're Charles, you want to fight in UFC Rio. You want to fight in Brazil. I mean, every single fight on this card features a Brazilian. So of course, 100%, this is a huge moment for Charles. Huge moment for Gamrot as well. It's dead split to pick him. I really do.
Brazil, hope. Big moment for the UFC.
Yeah, absolutely. They're finally going to different places.
Like big moments for them.
Yeah, 100%. And then also on that fight, also on that card is Davison Figueiredo, another Brazilian, former champion. He's a huge underdog, by the way, to Montel Jackson. I didn't even know this. I was like, oh wow, he's a big underdog. In his backyard, another Brazilian who is an underdog. Do we like Figueiredo? I mean, obviously probably not in the title contention anymore. Obviously, he moved up and probably no longer in that. He was in a title eliminator when he lost to Jan, so probably not going to be in the title picture. But if he loses to Montel Jackson here at home, that might be the end of the road, right, for Figgy?
Sure. I mean, I am not going to dog Davison Figueiredo. I mean, the guy is one of the
legend.
Better champions we've seen in a long time. I mean, he's so good, and he's another one who is down to scrap, and he will give it his all. I think he's going to give it his all in front of his home,
his
home fans, his home country. I think it's going to be. When I say Brazil magic, I think it will touch Davison Figueiredo.
Yes, he'll fight a very good fight in Brazil. 100%, no doubt about that. I'm looking forward to that card for sure. Obviously, next UFC 321 is Tom Aspinall and Cyril Gane. at heavyweight. So it's finally we've got some heavyweight action here. We haven't seen a real interesting heavyweight match since Derek Lewis stunningly knocked out on UFC Fight Night, but that was a Fight Night card, so that wasn't. We haven't really had a massive heavyweight pay-per-view. Obviously, John Jones and Stipe was, for legend status, sure, but I wasn't really that interested in the fight. From we're newer fans, and Stipe hadn't fought since 2020, so that fight was whatever. But finally, some heavyweights we're getting a pay-per-view for them. So very interesting stuff coming up here. Sam, appreciate you hopping on and talking for half an hour about some UFC. Hey, it's gonna be very. Yeah, it's gonna be very interesting stuff these next few months. Obviously, we might see Merab in there again by the end of the year. So, very interesting stuff for sure. Yeah, no doubt about that.
And I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for letting me come on and chop it up with you about UFC. And I hope everything's good. And thanks again.
Yeah, awesome. All right, appreciate you then.
Looking for it.